going to be making doggy cupcakes. So I started by making 12 vanilla cupcakes with my vanilla cupcake recipe. If you'd like me to make a video of that recipe, give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. So I started by baking 12 of those, and then we're going to move on to making the decorations while these cool completely. So I'm going to start with some dark chocolate and some white chocolate. I'm going to melt a little bit in the microwave in 30-second bursts, mixing as I go, and then I'm going to bring them back and I'll show you what to do. So I've melted my chocolate here. I've got my white chocolate and my dark chocolate. If you want to use milk chocolate you can, but I just prefer to use dark. So I'm going to put these into 2 piping bags just for more control, and then I'm going to get a sheet of baking paper out and I'll show you what we have to do. Just a quick tip, don't put your chocolate in the freezer. Alright, so I'm going to take my white chocolate and I'm going to cut a small nozzle off the end. I don't want it too large because I'm going to be doing some fine details with this. Right, I'm going to start piping some eyes. Okay, so I've cut off a tip from my dark chocolate, so I'm going to pipe a triangle. Smile. So I'm going to continue on and do more of those, and then I'll come back when we've done 12. So I piped these out and I'm just going to leave them to set for a little while. You'll notice that I've done a few extras just in case I'm not happy with the way that they look on the other side. If you want, you can go back and fix it with some of the chocolate, but they don't have to be perfect because not all dog's noses look the same. So now I'm just going to make a batch of buttercream. So I'm going to use 120 grams of butter, and I'm going to whisk that on a high speed until it's light and fluffy, and then I'll be adding the icing sugar in batches. So I'm just adding the icing sugar a little bit at a time, and I'll mix that through until it's completely combined, and then I'll add a little bit more and I'll show you when we've added all of the icing sugar. So I've added all of my icing sugar, I've mixed it in, and you can see that it's still quite crumbly and very, very dry. So I'm just going to add a splash of milk to kind of loosen the mixture up a little bit. And then I'm going to whisk it on high for about 2 to 3 minutes until it gets really light and fluffy, and it pretty much doubles in volume. Alright, so we have our finished buttercream here, and you can see that it's really, really smooth. And I just wanted it to be like that so that you could get it through the holes of this piping tip, which is a grass tip, which is the one that we're going to be using to make all the fur. Not fur. Okay, so I'm going to colour it with some brown. So I've got some chocolate brown here. You can just as easily make this a chocolate buttercream and use that brown to make it look like the brown of a dog, but I'm just going to experiment with some colours here, and of course you can do whatever colour dog you want. So I'm just going to add a couple of drops. And I'm going to mix that in and see how it goes for colour, and then I'll keep adding as I go. Alright, so once you've got it to the colour that you want, which I think for me this is perfect, I'm going to put it into a piping bag with the grass tip, like I said earlier, and then I'll show you how to decorate the cupcakes. So I've left it so it's slightly unmixed in, and that's just because I want some streaks to show through so that it's a bit more realistic, because anybody that has a dog or has seen a dog would know that not all dogs are the same colour all the way along. So I've left it with some whiter streaks and with some brown streaks in there, and I don't want to overfill the piping bag, just want to get it right down to the tip. And I'm going to leave a little bit in there because I'm going to spread it on top of the cupcakes just to give it a bit of a base. So I've got my cupcake here, and I've left some icing in the bowl, and I'm just going to use that to spread just very minimally over the cupcake, just kind of to give the other icing something to stick to, and just in case there are any gaps so that the white of the cupcake doesn't show through. So I'm just going to do a really rough job of that. Right, and then I'm going to take my grass tip, and I'm going to start by piping it downwards so that all the hair is falling the same direction. So I'm just squeezing and then pulling away. Now of course you can experiment with this and make it as scruffy or as long-haired and straight as you like. I just prefer the look of the straighter hair. And there we go. We've let these refrigerate for about 20 minutes and you can see that they're solid. And now's the perfect time to go through and snap off any parts that you're not okay with, like those little tails just here. We're also going to make the little tongues for the dogs to have. So I've got some strawberry sour straps, and what we're going to do, I'm just going to take one, and I'm going to measure it up to the mouth that I'm going to be using, and then mark it with the scissors, and then I'm going to cut it into like a bit of a semicircle kind of shape, so it looks like a tongue. So you can see there. And then, so we're going to stick them onto the cupcake like that. So we need to cut them up so that they just sit behind the cupcakes. So we just cut a little triangular kind of shape. So you almost end up with a bit of a teardrop. And that will sit just behind it and it'll be the little dog's tongue. So I'm going to go through and make 11 more of these. And then we'll come back and I'll show you how to assemble the final piece. Alright, so we've got our iced cupcake here and we've got everything that we need to put it together. So I've got those two of those white dots that we made earlier, just ones that match to about the same kind of size, the nose and the tongue that we just finished off, and an entire chocolate melt. So I'm going to start by placing the nose, So I'm going to start with the tongue and I'm going to put that about here. And then I'm going to place the nose and the mouth over the top of it, just so that it all sticks in. And then we're going to put the eyes just above it. Now I'm aware that they don't have pupils, but we'll fix that in a moment. So now I'm going to cut my candy melt or my chocolate melt in half, and then take a small amount off the top so that it's this kind of shape. I'm going to do the same to the other side. And they're going to become our ears. Okay. So we have our chocolate from earlier, and I'm just going to put a tiny weeny dot in the middle of the eye, and on the other eye. And then you have your finished PUPcake. So here we have the finished PUPcakes. Now remember, this is just a base and you can do whatever you like with it. You can change the colour of the fur, you can change the style of the ear, and you can definitely change up the lollies or what you use to create the eyes or the snout. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed the video this week, and if you want to see more from me, make sure you click subscribe so that you can be notified every time I upload a new video. It's free! If you liked what you saw, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and comment what else you'd like to see down below. All my social media is just below me, and my previous video and my next video are just linked here. See you next time.
Okay. This is for being such a good boy. Peanut butter. Yum.
Such a good model.
Good
Oh, such a good boy.
Good boy. So gentle.